Okay, great and glorious, soon to be famous one day. Nick Dutch back on the camera again one more time for another delightful video. Just going to go at random through a few of the private messages that I've received. I haven't touched this for a while. I know, naughty boy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay, get over it. First one, clickety click, here we go. Oh, God. This one says, feel like teach me how to make a pact with the Master of Darkness. Well, logically and intellectually, even if it was actually possible for you to make a pact with the Master of Darkness, it possibly wouldn't actually be all that good for you, and that's if it's true. And also, if it isn't true and it's just psychology, then essentially you'll be immersing your mind in ideas which are rather unsavory, which will basically not do you any good whatsoever. So, no, I don't really feel like helping teach you make a pact with the Master of Darkness and thereby damaging you psychologically. I think that that would be wrong. It's like, might as well just send me a private message saying, hey Nick, tell me to do something today which will really, really mess me up psychologically and intellectually and socially and in terms of my career and my social behavior and the way I interact with people and my financial affairs. And yeah, go for it. Just tell me how to do it and I will do it because you are the great and powerful Nick Dutch. I mean, for fuck's sake. Come on, get some perspective. Okay, alright, clickety click. Let's have a look at the next one. I just wanted to ask you a question about the spells in the Necronomicon and how it would help me with my situation. Well, first and foremost, I'm sure if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know full well that I don't use the phrase "it works" because I think it is intellectually lame. And on top of that, it is something which you can experiment with and you can explore, and you will probably find you will not necessarily get like top quality like results you wanted. I mean, essentially, if magic worked, full stop, finito, just like when you press the on button on an electric device and hey presto, hey, that works perfect, just the way it should, boom, then I would never, I'd have recovered from my chronic fatigue syndrome many, many years ago. Obviously, the chronic fatigue that I got was actually like an incurable disease, and I was looking out for a cure. So, hey presto, it didn't happen. So I sort of like made me call into question somewhat the validity of some of the, claims of the people who can turn around to you and say, oh, it works, okay? Because basically, lots of them are just a bunch of people who can't think things through, have got too many beliefs, not enough knowledge, they're not very intelligent, they're slightly insane, rather disturbed people who can't think their way out of a wet paper bag. And that's when they've got boxing gloves on and they're jam packed full of steroids and they've been taking speed and stuff. Wet paper bag defeats them every time, intellectually speaking. So, but what could you get from some variety of spell methodology that would actually be useful for you? Well, spells are essentially no different to religious ceremonies anyway. I mean, a lot of the things which is done in the church which I go to are so similar, all right, by nature. I mean, we got this like very liberal, very family orientated, very theatrical driven church, which doesn't necessarily always follow the same formula of a standard Anglican church, because like all kinds of different forms of rituals. You write down your prayers on a piece of paper and put them in a certain jar, or maybe it's written on a leaf, and then the leaf is then swept away by someone with a broom. All of this is like very theatrical, very art orientated. Of course, we're using candles and burning things and using balloons to symbolize prayers going up to heaven and all that kind of stuff. All the sort of thing which I also did when I was involved with the pagan groups when they were doing magic. Yes, it was real magic. It was really going to work. Well, it's the same thing, but it's being done in a Christian environment. So essentially, spells are, to the most part, just a form of religious ceremony. That's all. Finito. The end. It's just a form of religious ceremony. Okay. Now, the benefits of religious ceremonies is often to provide peace of mind, clarity of thoughts, a moment of calm, a feeling of being centered or back inside yourself, or something which can help to erode some forms of negativity which you might be experiencing, such as angerness, bitterness, resentment, hostility, stress. Okay, just plain stress. Or indeed something that can give you faith that you are doing something which is somehow positive, or just give you that extra bit of uh, not really comfort. Comfort is the wrong word. I would say removing cognitive dissonance from yourself. Well, a few years ago, when I used to be obsessed with the TV show Deadliest Catch, there was one of the fishermen on that show. Remember, they're going out to like Alaska, and it's like terrible conditions. They're going fishing on the sea, waves the size of skyscrapers. You know what I mean? They're terrified, and they want to keep their concentration going all the time. And one of the sea captains would always like spit into a certain variety of noodle pots as his lucky charm. And there was one day when we went out to sea and he didn't have that special type of noodle pot. So, there's scenes of him like radioing through to another boat saying, I've got these few strange quirks and I desperately need this particular type of noodle pot so I can spit in it so that I can feel lucky for the rest of the trip. They're doing a dangerous job. People lose fingers, people lose arms, people die, ships go down, and the crew is like dead and gone forever. And they're terrified, but they're doing this really dangerous job so they can get the red crab, brown crab, and cod in. And so the sea captain said, it doesn't really matter. The last thing I want is to have some like doubts going on inside the back of my mind. So if there's anything, whether it's from the Necronomicon, or whether it's from a Wiccan book, or whether it's from a Christian candle book, or whether it's from anything which you kind of like get on with, then basically do it. Because if that can remove a psychological negative factor from yourself, then that will be a good thing. And then that will help you psychologically. And of course, everything you do in life is based upon what happens inside your own head. Okay? I mean, how I get on with a friend of mine or a family member is dominated by the ideas, thoughts, and feelings that I've got at the time. If I'm really, really anxious, or I'm upset, or I'm concerned, then essentially my behavior is going to go downhill. All right? It's going to go downhill. So if I want to do something just to calm myself down, then I will. Now, if that means prayer, I'll do it. If that means lighting a candle, I'll do it. Okay? If that means reading something which is inspirational or therapeutic or just seems to make me feel grounded just for a second or gives me a sigh of relief, then I'll do it. Okay? So it doesn't matter. I mean, a spell from the Necronomicon, yes. Relax, okay? Just another religious ritual, if you want to do it, then go for it. But you'll be just as happy possibly, or possibly more happy if you did things from an orthodox religion as well. An ordinary, straightforward, boring, mundane faith. You can interpret in whatever ways you see fit from your own frames of reference and positions of intellectual thought. Okay, let's get on with the next one, shall we? Ooh, got a longish one here. It says, no, I have to deal with that one later. It's a bit too long. Oh, this one says, the entire world is evil, only Jesus can save you. I'm sharing my testimony online because I used to be involved in the occult, sold my soul in so many terrible things. After I tried to break free from the occult, they put me under death threats, and I have made multiple attempts on my life. So that's obviously someone who's involved in a cult of bad people. I mean, when I went on a ghost hunt many years ago, there was a time when all the other like professional ghost hunters, experienced professional ghost hunters, they all slept in the same bedroom because they were afraid. And my point of view is, I'm much more concerned about a living person who's got problems than a ghost. Alright? That probably won't be able to fuck with me as much as a human being who's got like issues going on, if you get my drift. So I stayed in my room. It was a very nice large room. Okay, there was plenty of room for me. I was in, peaceful. It was good. Alright, now we got another one that says, hi, I've been living in a flat for nearly 3 years, and I have frequently seen orbs appearing for a few seconds and vanish immediately. I kept thinking it's my eyes playing tricks on me. I saw a small yellow ball vanish across the room, and a few months later I saw a green light in the other room appear next to a curtain and disappear. Is it some sort of natural phenomenon occurring? I don't know. You'd have to do like a proper investigation, electromagnetic meters and all the rest of that kind of stuff, just to see what the fuck's going on there. Some idiots on Facebook said to me, if you see orbs, you want to get the fuck out of your house. I said, why? And he said that they are dangerous and can absorb into your body and latch onto you. Well, whoever it was who said that was obviously a psychotic who had problems and they were trying to frighten you and just trying to put you off whack. All right, the people who just do that, that they are lying, cheating, stealing, evil bastards. A lot of them are trying to terrify you away from your own forms of spiritual path and onto theirs, so they can control you. They're just getting a whopping great power kick over controlling you. They want to control you. They want to have power over you. They want to really enjoy making you feel like shit. Don't listen to these people. They are scum buckets from hell. Every man jack of them. Okay. Alright, okay. It says here, as soon as you mention orbs to those believers, they assume that it's spirits when there's no actual proof that it is spirits. Why do they think why do they think this about orbs? Because that's the way that they think. Okay, it doesn't, it's very tempting to think, well, they think it's this, therefore there must be a reason why they think it. No, not necessarily. They think it's that because they think it's that. Okay, because they have their own inability to rationalize. Okay, there's lots of people involved in the occult or spiritualism or religion who say that they know, yes, but they don't. Okay, they do not know, and you've got to understand that these people do not know. But they will say, oh, it is about spirits, it's about the angels, it's about the fairies, it's about, yes, demons. They really don't make me proud to be a human being. Seriously. Fucking seriously. Then goes on to say, I went onto a website and it said, ghosts are real. The further down it says, a Ouija board should be shunned. Well, maybe that website was written by a bunch of conservative, fundamentalist, lunatic, extremist, Christian, Republican wankers who are trying to terrify you away from your own spiritual path and into theirs so that they can control you. Because that's what they're scumbags, every man jack of them. It doesn't matter what fucking religion they're a part of, or spirituality, or none. Okay, or, there are atheist scumbuckets who are just as evil. Seriously. They are holding back research, Nick, by making false claims. Yeah, that's right. And they are holding back research. They are making false claims. They are scum. And they're trying to control you for their own political purposes, their own economic purposes. They can add one more to their number. Get you buying books from their bookshop rather than somebody else's bookshop, yes. Or doing some affiliate selling for them through going out and telling your friends the bullshit which they've tried to cult up into you. Oh yeah, the more people we've got saying this stuff, then the more likelihood we'll get for, the Alex Jones supporters are the same. I had this chat with this gentleman in a coffee shop a while ago. We had a perfectly normal chat about beer and women and sex and cars and music, and all of a sudden he was going on about the New World Order, depopulation conspiracy, and it was just like straight Alex Jones playbook stuff. And oh my god, and and he was like recommending going to Prison Planet and fuck off, just fuck off. Because he's now so terrified that he's now trying to turn me into a customer of Alex Jones, or a viewer of Alex Jones, or whatever. And that's the way that the marketing works on some levels. And it really does suck. Really does suck. But it's also, we have to accept that that's the way the world is. And that's why we've got to be even more critical when we're coming across quite so many ideas and people and out-and-out lunatics. Okay? I am much more afraid of a human being who's got problems than I am of a demon or a specter or anything. Alright? Quite simply anything. And, just don't allow these people who are sick, twisted fuckers to control you. Okay? Don't. It's not done. They're trying to warp your mind. They're trying to reinterpret what you've already written to take into account their understanding and to do any dishonest method to stop you from thinking clearly and objectively analyzing stuff. And when you start to disagree, they're going to fuck with you. Because they can't have anyone thinking full stop. Okay? They want you to be a little robot, a little fucking zombie. Okay? They're evil, they're scum, they're fucked, they're lying, cheating, stealing, evil bastards. Keep away from those people. Alright? Keep away from those websites. Be free. Be a proper free thinker. Okay, proper free thinking doesn't mean you're an atheist. Doesn't mean to say you're in anything. You just literally think freely and look objectively, word by word, sentence by sentence, at what's actually written down in front of you. All right, be critical and just get free from all this bad thinking. God bless.